Hey everyone, good afternoon. This is Rani. Thank you for tuning in. Um, I received a question in my inner circle students. They asked me one question, and I thought it was interesting, and a lot of other people might benefit from this, which is why I am answering this in a podcast. The question I received was, uh, "What? How do we differentiate between self love and ego? When does self love, self respect cross over into egoism? And when does it stay as self love?" The idea is we always talk about women. We say women should have self care, women should display more and more love towards themselves, and not just women, any human being. We say take a few minutes, take a few moments, and make sure that you are able to be in that space of uh, deep self-respect, self-love. But everybody is always worried, when does it actually bleed into becoming an ego? So in this podcast, I'm going to break it down, and I'm also going to give you some examples and one beautiful meditation technique which will help you to ground yourself and be in the present moment, so you will not feel the pressure and the challenge. You can find a calm way to release it from your system. See, when you think of getting angry and releasing something from your system, it actually impacts and it affects your body and your mind, and even your physiology. When you get angry, for example, your blood races and you feel lightheaded, and you sometimes, depending on the strength of your rage, it really bothers your body. But when you learn how to release it mindfully, you're asking, is there a way to become mindfully angry? No, I'm not talking about that. Talking about how do we mindfully handle these challenges that we get. So today we are going to take a look at that, and I'm going to start with the story of some of the people I know. First thing I want to mention is self-respect, self-love. Cultivating it is a long, continuous journey. You cannot say, I've started this journey and I'm all good. No, it's not like that. You have to be every situation, every day, every moment, you have to take a look at it. Second, mindfulness, all these consciousness based techniques are very, very powerful because they help you to navigate your life chances with authenticity and confidence. It makes you feel powerful at the end of it. So I just want to start with a couple of stories. I know everybody loves to hear what the other person has done. I know of this person. He is a very competitive. He runs marathons. He's run the New York Marathon and all that stuff. He doesn't compete in Olympics and stuff like that, but he is very competitive. He wants to be the best in his field. Over time, he started dreading himself. He began to hate running. He began to compare himself to other faster runners and began to feel that, oh, I can never make it. He began to feel inadequate. And then one of his friends mentioned that, hey, maybe you should try mindfulness technique, because he was very good and they were partners. And so when they started doing this mindfulness techniques, he started practicing mindfulness in his runs. And Mostly he focused on his breath and the rhythm of his steps. Gradually, he was able to shift his focus from performance to just appreciating the body strength and enjoying the present moment wherever he was running through. Oh, the beautiful flowers that he was running. There was like if he's running in the streets and there are some gardens and he's able to see that there's some birds flying around. Early in the morning when he goes for a run, he's listening to all these nice bird sounds. So he shifted gradually to enjoy not only his body strength but also the moment. And that shift actually boosted his confidence and transformed his fear of running. And that's when running became a source of his self-respect, which means he whenever he felt he need to feel empowered, he would lace his boots and just go for a run. Let me talk about someone else who would not do any kind of running, right? Um, Debbie was an artist. Um, Maybe she does it still, I don't know. But she struggled with perfectionism. She was very, very, very critical about her own art. But she was very generous when it came to praising her colleagues and friends' art. And she had this crippling thing in her mind, somewhere at the back of her mind, that everybody is actually laughing at her art. And she felt she was a failure. Then she just began to meditate. She just began to learn to observe her critical thoughts. That was her meditation. Her meditation was not a huge thing. She was just learning to observe her critical thoughts without passing any judgments. No judgments. Just watch. Over time, when she went on practicing this, she learned to detach herself from her perfectionism. She learned to detach herself from the results and she just learned to appreciate the process, the creative process, the imperfect creative process, and all the hurdles that she was going through when she was composing this. That was itself was an amazing thing for her because she was in the moment and every moment opened something new for her. Because she was in the moment, she was able to experiment. She was able to enjoy her art and she was able to build self respect and build a name as a unique artist. People would recognize her piece in gallery and say, that must be Debbie's. Let me tell you about one more story because we love to hear stories and how mindfulness helps. Um, Maria, let's call her Maria. She was a manager in a big company. She was because she had a big team. She felt enormous pressure to be fixing everybody's problem. And she had to be at everybody's beck and call. She felt she was sacrificing her own well-being. In fact, she was sacrificing because she had gained weight. She could not sleep well and she was unable to do a lot of things that she enjoyed doing because she didn't have time. Then one day, something happened at work, and she just called and she said, "Hey, I don't know what is happening, but I just I need to do something. I really feel that I'm should I quit this job? I'm not worth it. I'm having very low self esteem at this point. I cannot even respect myself." So we started by doing mindful gratitude exercises. So there was a guided gratitude exercises. We started doing on that and focusing on all the good things that she actually has in her life and she just began to recognize what her own needs were. She had to write it down because her mind was like brr, 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 all over the place, like some of us. And so, what she did was she then began to see where she could delegate tasks, where she had to set her boundaries, and how she could prioritize self care. As she began doing these journaling exercises, she began to realize she had this huge aha moment in her journaling when she felt that when she recognized that she need not be fixing anybody's thing, she does not have to micromanage, and she can let her team do what they do. And because of this, her team members loved that she trusted them. The team members were very happy that they were here. Um, and they said, we are here for you. We'll do that. That helped her to start taking care of herself better. And she also had the insight to help her team members say, hey, you need to take better care of yourself. Let's also talk of another person, Elena. I knew her only very briefly, and she was at the time very terrified. Elena is not her real name, but she was very terrified of public speaking. She was very feared that everybody would ridicule her. She feared that they would be judgmental. So in one of my when we met in one of my friends' writing groups, I casually mentioned that visualization and imagining yourself to be in those situations actually helps you to gain confidence and calmness. So she reached out and she said, hey, can you help me with this visualization because I've never done it? Then we went through that exercise, and then we also went through these mindful techniques to manage anxieties that she faced before presentations, and learning to breathe and have these positive affirmations that became her chatter. Yes, you can do it. Yes, you're great. People love to hear it to you. Your voice is much needed. So she went on practicing that. With so much practice, within 6 months, she said she gained so much confidence in her ideas, and she started earning the respect of her colleagues, and she was able to tremendously improve her communication skills. Let's talk about a teenager. Um, I would call this person as Lisa. She faced constant comparison and social pressure. It is mostly because of online. She'd see the life of her friends, they what they posted. They were all going to vacations here, and every weekend they went here, and they were telling that they got this in the school, and they were in this band, they were in this play, they were all the time they were bragging, or Lisa felt that they were bragging. And there was this enormous pressure that if you wanted to be friends with some of these kids, you had to be like one of the perfect ones or what. So she started practicing mindful exercises. What did she do? She limited her social media connections to 20 minutes a day, no more than 20 minutes. And that 20 minutes would be divided to first check the email to see if there is anything relevant, put everything else in trash, unsubscribe from things that do not need to be there. And she created more conscious interactions in the social media. She did not go and like people. She did not go and she only connected with people she wanted. She did not just make friends with everybody there. She began to value her time. She began to value herself. She began to value her identity. So she began to surround herself with supportive friends who valued her for who she was. And many of these friendships were off. It was not online, it was offline. Because she balanced this online and offline thing, it helped her to build her own self esteem and self respect and build her own values and authentic connections. How many of you feel one or two of these are applicable to you, right? We must have had one or two of these that are relevant to us. Let me tell you one more thing. We can develop this a 5-minute mindful routine that will give us more self love and respect. If you're feeling tired, drained, undervalued, or in need of a major self love boost, you're not alone, right? We all feel that. Here is what we can do. 5 minutes right now. Here are the 5 steps you can do. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and scan your body to see where you feel the tightness in your body. Is it in the chest? Is it in the heart area? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your shoulders? Where is it that you're feeling this? Take a deep breath, breathing into that area where you are feeling the discomfort. As you breathe in, visualize that knot is being massaged by this fresh breath of air and you're going to release it from your body. Then acknowledge every part of your body from the head to the toe. Acknowledge them with gratitude. Say thank you for the strong legs. Thank you for the steady heartbeat. Thank you for the amazing mind. Thank you for being such a marvelous creature. Go on offering that gratitude. Now, when you start offering the gratitude, what does it do? All the negative thoughts that you have been hiding comes in a gush and it says, stop this. You cannot be that. So, what do you do then? You visualize that these are all like leaves of a tree that are falling away in during the fall. You see how leaves change color and they fall. So visualize some of these are not good thoughts. They're brown. They no longer serve you any purpose. So visualize that they're blowing away from you. They are completely leaving you, your system, and you can sprout new leaves in your bush, which says, I am worthy, I am loved, and you repeat this slowly, steadily, even as you are going through the body scan. You can continuously do this. The third thing you will do is think of one or two things that make you happy, that make you find that you are supported, that make you feel like, okay, this is great. Doesn't have to be big, great, build. You can't say, oh, I'm grateful for XYZ. No, it can just be as simple as, wow, this chair is comfy. Thank you. I had a good coffee. Thank you. Small things. Then what you do is you visualize yourself as being surrounded by this radiant light. This radiant light is coming from within you. This is your amazing light. And it shines so brightly. And because of this shine, people are attracted. Positive experiences come to you. Amazing opportunities come to you. Amazing people come to you. Because you believe in your own power and you're now emphasizing your own power. So practice this meditation 5 minutes every day. You will be able to see how much you progress, how quickly you progress, and how fast you can progress in this. The next thing in the question that we were asked is, what is the difference between ego and self respect. So, the biggest difference between ego and self respect is, let us look at five things: focus, motivation, source of worth, behavior, and impact. So, when you know, how do you know ego is acting and not self respect? When ego is acting, you begin by saying, I deserve that promotion. Everybody can see I'm the best. Why am I not getting it? I deserve that promotion. That's ego, because your focus is outward, you're preoccupied with your outer image, and you are looking for validation and superiority. Your motivation is fear: fear of inadequacy, fear of need for external approval. Oh, if they don't do this, then I'm a failure. Source of worth is achievements, possessions, comparison with others, to say, hey, I am ahead of others. Behavior in this, what is it? It's boasting, it's defensiveness, it is difficulty in apologizing, and a sense of feeling of entitlement. What is the impact it creates? Immediate impact is, it creates conflict, it limits growth, it isolates relationships. But if it is self respect, it will be turned inward. It will be based on self acceptance. It will be working on internal compassion. It will be working on integrity, being true to our own words. When it is self respect, the motivation is intrinsic. This is good for me, so I do it. You don't do it so I can show this person who I am. No. You do it because this is good for me. This is going to give me some benefits in the long run or short run. Let me do it. Your source of worth, which is your inner values, your personal journey, and unique qualities. Those are your source of worth. You're guided by your inner values. You see this as your personal journey, and you develop unique qualities that people are not usually found in other people. And your behavior will be what? It will be very authentic, it will be healthy with all the personal boundaries. You will have unique qualities, and you will also be open to feedback. You'll be open to suggestions, you'll be open to forgiving somebody for doing the nasty things that they were doing. Impact. What is the biggest impact? The biggest impact is when you operate from the space of self respect, it empowers you, it helps you to grow, it helps you to form healthy relationships, and it gives you deep inner peace. So, let's say you are in the same meeting as the other person and you make a fumble in the presentation, or maybe there was a wrong slide. You would go and say, I'm sorry, I made that mistake in the presentation, but I learned from this and I respect myself for trying. I'm going to repeat this, but I will make sure that I double check, triple check that I will not repeat this mistake. That is being mindful, that is having self respect, not beating yourself up. So, by cultivating self awareness through mindfulness, there are many advantages. I'll just name three of them. You recognize when you are acting from the sense of egoism and when you are acting from your own self. Even your own self can be inflated. You can be acting from an inflated sense of ego, and that will disappear, completely disappear, when you start acting in the space of non ego. Second, cultivating self awareness helps you to shift focus towards self compassion and appreciation for your internal worth, your inherent worth, whatever you are already carrying inside you, that is what will come out and shine. And you will be able to develop healthy boundaries and prioritize actions which are aligned to your values. That makes it a joy to be working with you because you have self respect. You expect others to have self respect. So you're not going to yell at them, you're not going to do anything with them. It may be frustrating sometimes when you have to communicate. You may write all caps, but you're not doing that all the time. And with intense self awareness, we can avoid all the all cap conversations. So, our question today is to consider how this is impacting us. How does this impact us? Why should we be mindful? Why should we be mindful? Because everybody needs this self respect. We have to celebrate self respect as a long journey. It's continuous, it is continuously happening. And we have to be sure that we are breaking it down into practical, actionable steps. I hope this podcast has helped you to understand a little bit about self love and ego and when we should practice it. We should practice it all the time. Whenever you get an opportunity, please keep practicing the meditation. Just go inside and just take a deep breath and visualize your dreams. Constantly do it. I hope this was um, useful for you, but and I want to thank every one of you for taking your time to watch this video, either live or in the recorded format, and posting and sharing your comments and concerns. I really appreciate that because it's very valuable to me. Please subscribe to the channel and share it with everyone. I thank you all once again. Today's topic was about self care, self love, how to find our balance when we are doing our work full time. Thank you all for listening. This is Rani for the Satik method. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this. We produce videos on every Sunday for this segment. On all the other days, we work on other projects. So feel free to send us a note. We will still get it and we will make sure that everything is addressed to your satisfaction. I am very thankful for all of you once again for your support and I welcome you to join us in our live classes. Thank you. Bye bye.